Welcome back to the Citizen channel. Hope you're all staying safe and well. And our regular feature, the Matchday Home Programme Watch. Not the away one, this is the home one. We don't rate it, we just have a quick look through the latest City magazine I've got here. City, not magazine, it's a programme, isn't it? Matchday programme, we call it, don't we? So we're going to have a look through, of course, the big one for us. Great result, of course, on the pitch. We're going to have a look at the one with the Bohemian Rhapsody homage on the front. I'm not going to rate the covers this year because obviously there's a lot of it's just a player's image, so there's no real thing. But that's interesting. It's interesting. I wouldn't say I liked it or disliked it. I just thought, and obviously Mr. Edison is playing the role of Freddie Mercury with his hands crossed in front there, isn't he? So I thought it was a great cover. Considering I might have a mention of it at the end of the season, of course, in dispatches. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you liked it or not. It's a very, very strange cover. Quite clever, but did you like it? Please let me know. So we're going to have a look through this today, the Matchday Programme Watch. Please, if you're new to the channel, I do these City information vlogs, reviews, previews, odd shows, lots of different stuff. It's like obviously I say it harks back to the City magazine I attempted to do in the late 80s. It's like a video version, a vlog version of that, if you like. So I'll try and put loads of different things, and hopefully you can pick and choose stuff that you like to watch. And hopefully most of you like to watch most of it, and that's much appreciated by me. So if you can push that subscribe button if you're not already done so, and please, if you push that bell notification so you know these vlogs are coming out, and tell your City friends as well if you can. Please pass the word. There's nothing like word of mouth, is to get these things out. And of course, leave your comments, put thumbs up. So if you can leave a comment and a thumbs up, even better, like most of you do. Much appreciated. Thank you very much. But give us a thumbs up as well. Be great. Make an old City fan very happy if you do that. So the programme, of course, £3.50 for 84 pages. We had slightly less for the recent cup game, didn't we? So that's fair enough. ReachSportsShop.com, of course, still for subscriptions, so you can still get 26 from there. And if you do go missing, which I've had a problem, if you watch any of these vlogs, I've lost one or two over time, just because of the poor postal service. Nothing to do with the supplier. We haven't got the greatest postal service at the moment. It's improved a little bit, I think, recently. But if you do say this didn't turn up, they will send you a replacement out, which is great. So 26 copies for £84.50. If you're outside of the UK, add 65 euros for Europe, £65 for Europe, and add £80 for the rest of the world. So that's www.reachsportsshop.com. They do a lot of stuff, obviously, involved the evening news. They do a lot of media stuff now. They seem to be taking over the world, don't they? So let's have a look what's inside. Yes, I will say now, a bit disappointing. I had a flick through, it looked okay, but I don't know. I say apart from the cover, which was quirky. Anyway, we'll talk about what's inside. Of course, we got Pep. We're going to have Pep out when he welcomes United and talks about Zinchenko, of course, and the support he's getting at this difficult time. Foden is the main article. Again, I had a good read through it. Not a lot I didn't know about Foden. He talks about his past, of course, his present, mentioning Aguero, stating he was his sort of hero, which is wonderful, of course. Trophies won and certain trophies we haven't won that he wants to win. And yeah, it's all right. I want a little bit more from my articles. You know me, I bang on it. It's every time these things come out. I just want a little bit more interest. As I said, I had a good read through and it wasn't overly exciting, but not Foden's fault, is it? It's totally not. Kevin Cummins, that was a good one. Yeah, I like Kevin Cummins' feature. He looks back at the 6th of March, obviously, which is the game this was played, in 1990. It was actually Stone Roses had an infamous, I don't know much about it, so that's why I read it. It was very interesting. An infamous appearance at Wolverhampton Magistrates Court. Obviously, he photographed Stone Roses many times for NME and various publications. But obviously, it gives you some background to this appearance at the Magistrates Court. With some great images as well. So very, very good that I enjoyed Kevin Cummins this week because it's something I didn't know much about. I'm not a big Stone Roses fan, but if you are a big Stone Roses fan, it's probably even more of interest and you'd know a bit more about it than I would. The head-to-head was interesting, yeah. Mahrez versus Rashford. Yeah, Rashford for me is a guy who's just stagnated recently, but it's such a shame. I think if he'd moved on to another club, he would have done far, far better. But if you look at some of the stats, obviously Mahrez has played 246 for City to Rashford's 196, and the assists, Mahrez has 124 and Rashford 91. Yeah, so some good stats on the head-to-head. That was okay this week, nothing wrong with that. Star for both, picks on Carlos Tevez, which is probably an easy one to pick on with the relationship recently. Less obvious ones that I wasn't 100% sure I remembered playing for both teams. Andy Hill, Peter Bodak. I mean, some of you might not even remember him playing for City, but I do. But obviously, Wyn Davies as well. I forgot he'd played for United. I know the mighty Wyn had played for us, but I sort of forgot about that one. The blast from the past goes back to 2011, I think, as it did, I think, the last time, but a different game. And it looks, of course, at the turning point for many City fans in City and United's history, recent history. The semi-final victory at Wembley, of course, that I think Gary James did a piece very recently on his wonderful football archive site. I think that's free to read as well. You can pay or get it free, but obviously that's great for Gary James. Ex in the City, John Macken, on Derby Day goals. He played for United as well. He started off at United, didn't he, John Macken? And what players can expect in today's clash? City quiz guess question. There we go. So I'll give you the answer to this at the end. So the City quiz. This is a good one. I took a stab at it. I got it right, but it was a sort of guess. I thought I had an idea, but I wasn't 100% sure. So yeah, I'll give you the answer at the end. When did United move into Old Trafford? And I'll give you options, or they give us options on the quiz anyway. 1890, 1900 or 1910. City Reflections, of course, usually my favourite part of the programme, and no different this time, as Gary James pays tribute to Manchester's first football clubs who pioneered football in the city. Yeah, because it was very much a rugby city until football came around, and it's very much a rugby city till City actually won something as well. So, very interesting article, as you'd expect from Gary James. What's in a name this week? Yeah, I've not picked out any interesting facts. They're quite boring for me. But Rodrigo features in What's in a Name, so they take a letter of the name and obviously come something specific to Rodrigo and City, which it pushes it a bit. But obviously we've got Rodrigo for your delectations this week. But as I said, nothing. I looked through for something interesting. I didn't really find anything that interesting to share with you. And a great little piece, a wonderful, of course, wonderful for City to do it. Remembering Darren Blair, of course, where we've had the applause from in recent games. A nice page on him and his support for the club. That's a great, and say, as ever, our condolences and best wishes go to Darren's family and friends. But a nice gesture by City to do that. City women, City to the core housemates. So both City fans from childhood. So that's great, isn't it? Play for your girlhood team or your boyhood team. That's how it should be. So obviously Lauren Hemp and Esme Morgan, they are housemates and they're both big City fans as well as City players. Hey, heaven, what more can anyone ask? Not too much, can you? City under-18s, a Q&A with Jadel Katongo. My apologies, Jadel. I've never seen you play. Interesting fact about Jadel, he has a right leg smaller than his left. There you go. I have no idea how that affects. So I actually read it. He's got a right foot smaller than his left. So I thought that'd be interesting when he's buying shoes. And then I reread it and it said leg, not foot. So it would have been better. I think it would have been better if he had 1 foot smaller than the other. I'm sure people do. It's just how it is. And the EDS feature looks at a guy which I didn't know much about. So it's interesting to have a quick read on him. Darko Giabi, I think that's pronounced, EDS player. So a little thing on him. Buzzword, again, looks at our recent games and checks out our chances in this derby game. I love Buzzer to death, but we perhaps can utilise him with a bit more history, a bit more information about him, rather than just talking about what we've all talked about. And no disrespect, we all get, we've said the same things about things. It does get a little bit monotonous, doesn't it? So I do like Buzzword, but perhaps just a little bit more edge to it, perhaps. No famous last words this week. I wouldn't put it past City to put United fan in there anyway, so I'm glad there isn't. My problems when they do it and they have an opponent's fan on it. I think it's totally wrong in a City match day programme. So there you have it. Yeah, so some okay articles. The Kevin Cummins was excellent, and there's a great piece, as always, by Dr. Gary James. But I just thought, you're talking one of the biggest derbies in the world. Well, in my eyes, perhaps I'm misjudging it over history. Certainly one of the longest running derbies, going back to even before we were called United and City, obviously going back to the Newton Heath days, etc. And yet there's not a lot. There's not a lot of history about City and United in various versions, which is disappointing. All right, you can always rely on Gary James to come up with something, but obviously Gary James is more in line with Manchester clubs as opposed to City and United. So I'm sure we'll get pieces in programmes to come. But yeah, I just thought it was a little bit disappointed there wasn't much more on City and United. I know with the United programme, there was always plenty on old matches and stuff like that. So that for me this week, one of the, apart from the cover, which I think you either love or you hate, a bit of Marmite on the cover with the Bohemian Rhapsody. I thought it was a bit disappointing this week, even for a City magazine, which sometimes doesn't really rate. If I had to rate it, perhaps doesn't rate really much more than the 6.5 out of 10. It struggles to get away from the 6 out of 10 minimum. So obviously some match day programmes I do. If you watch my away programme, watch can get up to, I think the highest is 8 this year. A couple have got 8 out of 10, but the City one does struggle, and it's still struggling. And this is possibly one of the weaker ones, considering such a big game as well, where you're going to get more people buying it. That's the thing. You're going to get you're going to get more. So to me, it's okay, but if you're getting people buying it for the first time who might have just visited, they're not going to particularly take out a subscription based on what's on this. So I think that's the disappointment for me in this. But anyway, rant over and rave over. And before we go, the City quiz guest question, of course. Did you know that one? You had a chance of 1 out of 3, didn't you? When did United move into Old Scaffold or Old Trafford or Legoland or whatever it is? Obviously, it's falling apart now, isn't it? So it is the latest of those 3 dates. So it wasn't 1890, it wasn't 1900, it was 1910. So it's what we're in 2022. So it's 112 years old. It's had a few plasters stuck on it, hasn't it? It's had a few little repairs, but it basically falling apart. I have a lot of love for old grounds. Don't get me wrong, but sometimes you have to sort of just accept defeat, don't you? And United are doing that a lot recently, but yeah, they perhaps have to do it about the stadium as well. And but with the current owners, you can't envisage any big changes happening anytime soon. We're not bothered, are we, basically? But anyway, if you said 1910, there you go. I'm ranting again, guys. It's supposed to be a programme watch, so it's not a rant about City and United. But thanks for joining me anyway, and please leave your comments and what you thought. Am I being unfair on the programme? Let me know what you thought. As I said, I thought it's one of the weaker ones, which is a shame, when in theory they will sell more of this one than they will normally of other ones because of its City United, and they will have obviously a lot more interest. Thanks for watching, guys. What are you going to do rest of the day? Have a great one. Catch yourselves, catch your friends, catch your families. More importantly, let's all look after each other. So with me here again on the Citizens channel, I only ask one thing, don't I? Please stay safe, Blues. Come on, City. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.